So, welcome to today's show. Today we have Ethan and Aaron. Both of them are gun basketball players. Both want to turn pro. These guys are going about it in two different ways. Aaron is building up in his local league, and Ethan's going through the college system in the States to sort of build up and start to become, turn pro. So both of them are quite different, and there's something that we don't really talk about a great deal. And before I'd even met Ethan, I had little idea that this was even possible, and I think it's quite interesting. But being in Australia, we don't really understand that we could actually, if you're quite a good athlete, that you could apply for scholarships. And because the idea was so foreign to me, that you could apply for a scholarship to go to the States and then have your education basically paid for while you're training and playing, your sport. I think that was really quite interesting. And I really want to talk about that today, because if we can kind of get a really good understanding of this, I think there's a lot of opportunities out there for athletes to sort of, take up and pursue their sport further, but also get an education in the process. So, Ethan, what's that been like? Like, how did you go from, playing ball in Australia, being a good athlete here, and then how do you go about applying for a scholarship in the States?
Well, it all started about 2 years back. 2 years back in the American summer, they have over here they have a tournament, basketball tournaments, AAU tournaments. Basically, you have a squad of people. You have a club, and you play in front of a bunch of college coaches. So I did that with AUSA Hoops. AUSA Hoops is an organization in Australia which a bunch of Australian basketball athletes can get in touch with and get in contact with. But they're a coach, bunch of very good professional coaches, and they build different squads and take them all over America to play in these tournaments.
Right.
So I
So
did,
you're playing in Australia. Then what happens is the opportunity to join one of these squads comes up. You get selected, I guess.
yeah. So it was through social media and emails, but then there's a trial, and you show up to the trial.
Right.
More
So do you
basketball.
have to show your interest first?
Yes, you have to show your interest first. Easy to get in contact with websites. I search up ASA Hoops. But yeah, so I did that, and the trial was a bunch of like 3 different teams or 2 different states. You get selected, they split the teams up, and then you just travel over and play in front of coaches. A lot of college coaches.
How many clubs? How many colleges did you go to?
We didn't go to colleges, so we played in the tournaments, the tournament style games,
Yep.
and then basically gave access to college coaches in the off season to come
Yeah. So.
uh, watch basketball athletes during the high school season
Yep.
and players that wanted to go to college. Then after that, you just play really hard, show what you got, take players' names off the list. College coaches will approach you, or you put your name out there with emails and highlight tapes.
Yep.
And then after you build a college coaches will approach you and talk to you. After you build a relationship with them, keep going. Like a lot of Skype calls, and then eventually after that, a scholarship should come your way.
Hectic. So you don't actually apply for the scholarship; they offer you a scholarship.
Yeah, they offered me a scholarship.
Do you know if there's another way of applying? Could you actually, maybe get some footage together and send it over a tape about, of you playing, and that's how you could get a scholarship possibly, or, they kind of like to just go about it that way?
Yes, you can. You can build a tape together and send it over to college recruiting systems,
Oh, sick.
college coaches, and basically it's very hard that way for a coach to come across the tape to compare to going over there and playing in front of them. They actually know your name. They can get in contact with your social media, and then they can see your tape that way.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be like trying to, you know, look at someone's Instagram profile and then be like, man, this person seems awesome because of their Instagram profile, because you only see the 1%ers of their life and how good they are on just on the gram. And it's like, so I imagine it'd be this similar kind of thing, because you look awesome because you select certain moments that were great, and the rest of it could be absolute trash. And then so the coach kind of has to sort of figure out whether or not that it's a bit of a risk for them, a bit more risky. Whereas if they see you in real life, and then you have a better chance.
A lot better chance. And one thing, advice for a highlight tape is make it relevant, like very recent. Not have highlights from 2 years ago when you're trying to go now. Just
Yeah,
have very recent highlights. Yeah, it's tough because when you're, especially all the way in Australia, coach doesn't want to put 9 out of 10. The coach doesn't want to put all his eggs in one basket from a 1 minute video from a kid playing in Australia.
yeah, exactly.
Very hard, but I was grateful and fortunate enough to play over there in those tournaments, and it was good. Worked out very good.
Something that you told me one time, and actually I didn't mention this, but both these guys are my athletes, and I've worked with both these guys, and I still work with Aaron. And then Ethan, had this opportunity and went over to the States. But Ethan one time told me something which was interesting, which was that, he's at the moment playing in, Hobbs, New Mexico, but, he made it into a D2 team, and it wasn't due to his athletic ability. It was more just due to the fact that, his grades maybe didn't maybe he just didn't try hard enough in school, and so his grades weren't amazing. And that's kind of one of those things that could be the difference between getting into a D1 and a D2 school. Is that about right?
Yeah, that's about right. So like the big schools, NCAA Div 1, they all about the grades. And when your grades aren't the par, they won't even look at you.
What do you reckon? What sort of level do you think they kind of need to be at?
So I don't know how many Australians will know the system, but America's grade system through a GPA, like a 2-point GPA, 2.5 GPA, sort of like that. And for NCAA Div 1, it's like 3.0 to like 2.6, 2.7, where they would consider where you can be eligible to play, which is about 3.8 is like straight A's back at home, or like a 80 something ATAR.
Right.
That makes sense, or can compare somehow.
Yeah. So you need to be hitting, A's, and also then you also need to be a really good athlete.
Yeah. Yeah. In high school, I didn't really get the grades, but I got so the American exams, SAT, ACTs. I got good scores in that to make myself eligible for college, but not at that top tier level.
Yeah. So
So
you're probably kicking yourself a little bit now if you didn't screw around so much.
yeah, little bit, but I'm not too worried because my ultimate goal out of this is to get exposure, get better, and just be pro. And I feel like at the college level, we don't need to go NCAA Div 1 at all. We don't need to be that big time player at Duke at all to do that.
Yep.
The competition right underneath, which is where I'm at, and the other NCAA tournaments competition, sorry, is just as good. And there's a lot of players that are on the Boomer squad that have come out of this competition. A lot of players are
Yep.
playing in Europe.
100%. And
NBA
one of
now.
our guests, what was that, Aaron?
I didn't say nothing.
Yeah, so yes,
Oh, okay. It must have been like they're breaking up. But yeah, I was about to say that Tim Conrad kind of went about it the same way. He went to the American college system, and Tim Conrad was on our second episode, I think, and he basically went through the college system, and then he went from the college system to trying to apply for, trying to get into different teams. That didn't really work out, came back to Australia, and then was able to sort of make it in Australia, which is really good. Um, so so how do you go from college to making it pro, Ethan? Like, do you have to go? Um, what's the selection process from there?
Well, I really haven't thought about it, and I'm not at that point yet. But
Yeah, because you're only 2 years in now. Well, 1 year in, really. Yeah, you're starting your second year now, right?
yeah, so I'm taking year now. Basically, it's just a big reason to go to college was the exposure and to get better and the level of competition, which will ultimately like make me professional coaches like they'll have an eye on me after this. So that's the plan. So basically, just going about that way, taking every every game at a time, going in
Yep.
there, playing this, showing them what I can do. Basically, I just gotta let the game do do everything basically right now.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, so I really, man, when I get there, I'll talk to other people. I'll suss it out. I'll be more proactive, like Google stuff. Me build my out there with professional coaches. But yeah, right now
yeah,
it's just
yeah.
getting time and getting to the things.
I imagine also perhaps, if you're quite a standout player, they'll probably get in contact with your college, talk to your coaches and stuff like that too. I guess that might be the way to go.
Yeah, that's I think that's what
Um,
it is.
so because I think a lot of the kids would and coaches will be hearing this, and parents kind of hear this and sort of wonder, well, like what is college actually like over there? So like, what is your day to day um uh life like in college?
Yeah, well, since this pandemic, it's changed, it's altered very much. But basically, it's wake up 8 to 9 in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
go to class back to back, and then after that, practice weights, and then in between, always getting extra work in, and that's something day to day. But for right now, preseason, we have a lot of conditioning, so we're waking up at five in the morning to get to the workout at 5:30. Always have to be there early. We have this thing called Mustang time, 15 minutes early to everything.
Oh
So
yeah, nice.
always got to wake up a little earlier. But yeah, so right now, conditioning in the morning, waking up at 5, getting there at 5:30, doing conditioning, and then weights, and then more conditioning for now. And then into the season, it's more dialed back, but still the same thing. Every day, workouts, gyms, team practice, same schedule of the class. And then game day, it's depending on whether if we're on the road or at home. We have a shoot around in the morning, and then nothing else. Just get prepared for the game. And if we're on the road, we have like a little 30-minute practice the day before, and then on the morning of the game, we have a shoot around
Yep.
on home, and then that same thing as home. Just get ready for the game after that. That's basically it.
So it's interesting because where you're situated in America, your closest game's like 3 hours away.
Yeah, not even that. Like our closest game is probably 5, 6 hours away. Probably
Really,
makes it.
there you go. So and then so you're on the bus quite a lot, and because you're traveling around so much, how do you fit your classes in?
So the school sets it up very well for athletic for the people on athletic scholarship where everything's available online. So I can do all my classes online, get in contact with teachers through Zoom, just like this. So it's very, very easy and very, very well done. I like it a lot. Makes
Yeah,
it very easy on the road, in the hotel room, Wi-Fi, just doing the work online. So it's good.
cool, cool. Um, I kind of heard this from one of my other clients because she's actually going through a similar process, and but through soccer. And so she said that they did this whole thing. They got to meet one of the girls that's been in Australia, went to the States to do soccer and play in a college. And she said that it was kind of like Div 1. It really gets to a point where it's like school is so secondary, but playing sports is primary, and then you kind of you kind of get to Div 2. It's a little bit more school orientated and a little less sort of just a tad less sort of like sports orientated. What do you think about that? Is there any truth in that you can
Yeah,
kind of tell?
there's a lot of truth in that, especially here. I know for a fact my coach, he's very school based and then sport, and he's always telling us you're a student athlete, student first. But besides the coach, overall, the school's very athletic based, very relies on sports focus. Like they've made things a lot easier for us, and which is I'm not complaining. Makes life whole lot easier. But yeah, there's a lot of truth in that where it's basically your priority to take care of your schoolwork, nothing to do with the school.
Exactly. And then imagine that if you're doing like Div 1, like I don't know if you'd be doing like a doctor's degree. Well, you know, you wouldn't
Nah,
be doing like medicine, because that's so involved. Whilst you still got sport going on, I couldn't adjust from what I can kind of take from it. It seems like it'd be really hard to kind of do something like that, and then
yeah,
maintain sport.
like you see it. I see it here a lot. Like a lot of my friends, a lot of athletic friends, we've taken not so much academic based majors. Like I'm doing kinesiology and very sports based, sports physical, like PT based. A lot easier relates to me. And then you see students take on like the doctor's degree, very heavy business management.
Yeah,
So yeah, quite different, interesting to see. But yeah, I wouldn't be doing some doctor's degree or something like that right
yeah. But
now.
you reckon those guys are struggling a lot harder?
I think a lot equal because their degree would take up their whole day, like our workouts and our small time school does. So
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
very equal but different.
Yeah, for sure. Then so Aaron, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Still alive?
Yeah. I'm
You didn't fall
listening.
asleep.
No, we're good. We're good.
So Aaron's gone about this in a different way. So Aaron's staying local, and which is just a different process altogether. Because I think in America they got their their college system and their professional sports kind of really mixed up. Like it's virtually impossible to not impossible, but it's very very hard if you didn't go through college in order to get to a pro level. In the States, you'd have to be some sort of freak or something. Like I think Melo Ball is actually a really good example of that. He's a kid that actually didn't have to go to go through the college system because he already had a massive rep. And so he came to Australia actually, and then he played, and then he went and played. I think he actually got #1 draft pick this year. Is that right?
Oh,
Not yet.
no, not yet.
Because I
Really
was
think
talking to one of the girls at the gym actually, and she said that she checked out the draft picks or something, and because I guess it could be possible because they've kind of finished their season, the guys in the bottom.
Yeah. So what they've done now is they've got the teams that are drafting. So they got like I think the Timberwolves have got the #1 pick.
Yeah.
Then Golden State's got #2. So they've done that. So where they've got the teams on what picks they're selecting, but they haven't done the players yet.
Sorry, I just cut out.
No, it's all good. So, being in Australia, how do you go about turning pro?
Well, it's a lot harder because there's not as much exposure. Like I'm mainly just trying to get better. To then try get in the States because there's a lot more money in it. But here we've only got like Waratah League and then NBL 1 and then the NBL. So
Right.
that's really all we've got to get pro in Australia. Whereas if you go college, you get a lot more exposure in there and there's a lot more money involved and a lot more coaches look towards the college players.
Yeah.
Because they're younger and there's a lot more prospects there to look for.
Exactly. You know what's actually interesting too, because you're not only just competing against the other guys in the Waratah League in order to get into the next level up and then finally make it in the NBL. You're also going against the guys in the college system in the States.
Yeah. Yeah, well, if you're trying to go pro, well, yeah, because like if you look at the Hawks, when they're trying to recruit, they're always looking for like college players rather than their local guys. Like you'll get the outstanding local guys like Angus Glover. So he was always sort of, you know, going to go pro, whereas you know, any of the other local guys, it's sort of hard to get into that pro sort of scene. And college is just a lot more players available and a lot more looking. And coaches know how hard you have to work to play college. So that's another thing. Like,
yeah, exactly. So it's a little bit more of a thing where they kind of think that these guys already have like, you know, prerequisite skills and whatever. So and they already are probably quite good, you know. So yeah, that's actually quite interesting. But so say, you know, we're a freak athlete, and then, you know, you sort of, the way that you make it in Australia is basically that you go from playing in the Waratah League and then you play the next level up. You get selected. Do you have to go through like a selection? Like you have to go through trials? Or can you just show up for trials, or they have to ask you to come try out?
yeah. Well, similar to like the States, you know, you got to message coaches, email, and they'll get you to come and try out. But yeah, you just need interest, and like you'll have to look to find those opportunities. But yeah, when you're trying to go pro, they're more so looking towards college rather than like Waratah League. NBL 1, like there's a lot of young players coming from NBL 1. But yeah, like that's a big step to make, and that's what I'm looking to do eventually, but I'm just trying to develop at the moment. So yeah.
Exactly, and you're still quite young, so it's like that. There's that as well. So, did you say something again?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Okay, I think what's happening is it's sort of, I think it flips to you because you kind of break up a bit, and then
It's that internet, mate. It's that internet.
Nah,
Shocking.
it's just a distance.
man, Hobbs has some shocking internet, bro.
Yeah, that's it.
So
Yeah.
fair enough. So this question's kind of for both you guys then. So what things have kind of helped you the most, you know, getting to this point? So and there's sort of like a lot of things you can sort of talk about there, whether it's like you know, growing up, starting early, or if it's like you know, adopting, you know, extra sort of training, or you know, with like you know, a technique coach or whatever it is for your sport, or you know, what's kind of pushed you and kind of helped you get to this point the most?
Well, first thing I'm going to say before I get beat up by a wooden spoon, I have to thank my mom.
Yeah,
Definitely.
sure.
That's one big reason why is my mom got me here. Mom was the biggest help for where I'm at today and how I've grown up, all that. So yeah, that's one thing. But yeah, what you, Aaron?
Okay. Well, my parents, yeah, they were also, you know, really helpful. Like, my mum, she's always really supportive, and she'll come watch me play, and she'll help pay for my basketball. And my dad, he was really good at basketball from a young age, so he taught me how to shoot. He taught me how to do a lot of things. So they were both really big helps when I started out, when I was like 10 or 11. But yeah, other things like, you know, just adapting, like, you know, just hard work and being in the gym and stuff like that, that also helps. But yeah, like, not much else to say about that. Like,
yeah, well, that's your dad's probably the reason why you got one of the finest jump shots in the Illawarra. So
I don't know.
thank you.
well, you're in New Mexico, buddy. So you know.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah, I'll get a lot for this question.
Yeah, what else do you got, man?
I think the biggest thing is staying committed and motivated. Like, because like if I didn't love what I did and commit myself to this path, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So just keeping that focus, staying motivated, because I do want this. I think that's a big help to carry me over.
Yep.
Another thing is just making moves to benefit myself. Like off the court, highly recommend always just think about yourself and what's going to be best for you. So when, for example, leaving Illawarra as the club to move to Sutherland and play and take a
Yep.
smaller role on the Waratah League Championship men's squad and just grow as a player and all that. I think that was big help, just making a move to benefit myself. I really don't want to leave Illawarra with all my friends, my hometown where I grew up. I wanted to succeed and do it that way, but
Exactly, and not to mention the move to to America now. So
yeah, doesn't always work out how you want it, but just always making a move to benefit myself always.
I like that. So a lot of people talk down about being selfish, but it's exactly what you need to do. You do need to be selfish. If you weren't, you'd be too preoccupied with other people, and then because of that, you wouldn't succeed. It just you do need to be a bit selfish, I think. So I think that's a good one. I always like to look at what other people do, like because we all sort of compete with other people, and then they fall off for whatever reason. And having a look at why they fell off, and then why you didn't fall off, is always one of those big telltale signs. So it's like I've competed with people that it got too involved in their own social life, and because they got involved in their social life, they stopped training as much and they fell off. And so things like that. I think that stuff's really important too, right?
Yeah, big important. One other thing is just like, I think this is more than me, like especially with my family, my mom. I've got a lot of people that believe in me and friends that believe in me and that want me to succeed as greatly as I want to succeed.
Yeah.
So that's just helped fuel the motivation, just helped it better. So that's another thing that's helped me a lot.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
that's just getting in the gym and always working on my game, getting
Yep.
strong. Yeah, that's little things compared to all this stuff, but yeah.
That's not even little things in my opinion, because that's kind of it sort of evolves your mindset a bit. Because if you're around people that kind of a bit haters and they just can't really foresee anything like this being possible, what I mean by that is like they can't really see you turning pro, and because of that, you hang around those people and you'll develop that kind of mindset, and then because you develop that mindset, it doesn't happen. Because you do end up being the people you hang around the most. So if you're around people that think, yeah, man, this is possible, you can do this, then it just becomes normal inside your head, and then you think you can do it, and then it becomes more possible because of that. And you can't see that with people who even just entering the gym. You see people like, oh, I can't do that, that's too heavy, I don't want to do that. And if you've got that mindset straight off the bat, like that really just leads you down a shit road right away, because you have to overcome that mindset. And if you got that mindset, you're really still behind. You're really behind at that point.
Yeah.
So I think that's massive, really. I think having your parents and everything like that being positive like that, I think that's a really massive thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Aaron, you got anything more to add to this?
Yeah, look, it's a big question, and like there are obviously a lot more things that come towards it. But I think mainly just focusing on yourself and really just thinking about like every game, every training session we can do better. Watching film, all that stuff's
massive, right?
Yeah.
When you can get it though, that's the problem. Like when you can get film.
Yeah. I mean, like even just like after every game and after every session, you always sort of think about like what you could do better, and then you work on that. And if you keep doing that and keep getting better, then that's it. You just keep going up. So
there's a lot to that. I know that in my sport, so I do weightlifting, and the whenever I stop filming myself, and I start to get worse, and it's just because I've kind of taken my focus of actually like what's going on with my technique and everything like that. Now I sort of just go into auto mode, and then when I go into auto mode, I start to get a little worse. So I think exactly right. So go back over, look at what you've done, look at things you can improve on, and even if it's just like the littlest thing that really does chip away and starts to make a big difference over time, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like a lot of coaches like that I've been with have always said like it's the little things that you do are the most important. Because like if you just sort of brush over a lot of stuff, you won't get to like the right spots and all that sort of stuff. So it's the extra bit of effort that you put in that's what makes all the difference.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a good place to leave it for today. Now, you guys are pretty low key on the gram and just social media in general. But so if anyone was like interested in finding out more about how to go about things, or if they wanted to, get some help or whatever, where would they find you?
Yeah, so just anyone that wants to shoot me a message, feel free. It's aaron.puljic on Insta. That's only where I sort of
Exactly. And I'll actually link this too, so don't worry about that too much.
Too easy.
Yeah.
I don't have to say it. What do you want me to say?
Bro, wherever they can find you, man.
Instagram's just
you could throw a bit of information here and there,
Yeah, if anyone wants to reach out, shoot me a message, whatever. Instagram's Ethan J Laudato, Laudato. The same thing.
Perfect. All right, thank you very much for coming on, guys. That was really cool.
Thanks, Jace. Appreciate it.
Hey, you're welcome.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
Welcome. Thank you for tuning in.
Excel performance all the way. Excel performance all the way.
Boys.
Hey.